Hello and welcome to Blues View, the first in a series of shows that will look back on the weekend that was for the boys from St Andrews. Following on from Saturday's 1-1 draw with Cardiff City, Lee Bowyer announced his arrival on the West Midlands football scene in true style with that last gasp equaliser, and no doubt he would get a few of those people off his back. Anyway, that's enough of my thoughts. Now let's hear the views of our man at Blues with Colin Tatham's Match in a Minute.
Saw the beginnings of the McLeish makeover on Saturday against Cardiff City, and although the result wasn't ideal, I think Birmingham will be grateful for a point in the end, courtesy of Lee Bowyer's 94th minute equaliser. The Blues boss, Alex McLeish, gave starting debuts to 3 players, and Keith Fahey also came on as Birmingham tried to salvage a point. After Joe Ledley had scored a tremendous goal for Cardiff in the 61st minute. Started very, very brightly for Blues. They looked very good with their new players, taking the ball, pushing up the pitch, running at Cardiff and causing a lot of problems. And then they just sort of tended to sort of drift out of it and lose the thread a little bit. And Cardiff, there were no mugs. They're unbeaten in 9 coming into the game. Looked very well drilled, very well organised, and basically had the ascendancy for large parts. The supporters weren't particularly happy with what they were seeing. The passes were going astray. There was a definite lack of understanding with the new boys thrown in there. But Birmingham at least salvaged something at the very end. They came back right into it, and Bowyer does what Bowyer does. He got on the end of a header from Stephen McPhail that dropped to him and lashed it into the top corner.
Well, that was Colin's views. Now let's see what you thought about the game. And overall, it's a very negative slant. Not many of you are pleased with that 1-1 draw. Firstly, Burnsy says, we played rubbish. But what did you expect? A lot of the players did not play well, which is not McLeish's fault. Then he goes on to single out several individuals. Hami Buatsa, same as Quincy, but at least he heads the ball. Lee Carsley was all over the place, no control. Scott Sinclair, where was he? I can't decide if it was the rest of the players not passing to him, or if he never got himself into any space. And finally, Kevin Phillips. We have played the same tactics with Phillips, but Phillips looked worse than usual. Barry Blues also takes a slightly negative slant on the game as well. Couldn't make it today, so listen to it on the radio. How much longer can this go on? We are shocking. The players are clueless, and you have to blame Eckenco. He's had long enough to get a decent style of play, and the players to do it. It just seems like there's no end to this. Finally, Paul at least shined some light on the man of the moment, Lee Bowyer. He says, at least Bowyer got a goal, which means he will settle quicker, and some of the anti-Bowyer people will give him a chance. I really think he's going to be a good signing for us over the next couple of years. OK, if you want to have a say on next weekend's fixture, then drop us an email on the address that should be appearing on the screen right now. Anyway, looking ahead to next weekend, Birmingham City go up to Bloomfield Road to have a second attempt at their championship fixture with Blackpool. Of course, 2 weeks ago the game was called off, but Blues will really now be looking to gain some momentum up in Lancashire, following last weekend's 1-1 draw. Tune in next week and we'll look back on that fixture with Blackpool.